So, my friends, today we have with us Mr. Sunil Ramani, who's advocate and joint head of Ramani Legal. He's a practicing lawyer since 1992. And apart from being an author of many legal books, he is also uses a lot of his spare time in promoting and supporting many of the initiatives that come from the Ministry of Finance, like, for example, e-filing of returns. He promotes these initiatives within Mumbai and Maharashtra region. So today, Mr. Ramani is going to be talking to us about a lot of legal aspects. But let me first introduce, you to him as well. Mr. Ramani, this session is being attended by people who want to become management consultants and set up their own firms. This is part of the All India Management Association program called Advanced Certificate in Business Consulting. And eventually, every one of them has a vision to set up their own consulting firm, some big, some small, and everyone wants to be successful and big. So, from the legal standpoint, Mr. Ramani, what is your advice to them regarding the formation of the company or legal entity? What are the different options they have? And how should they make a choice which way to go?
Okay. So, okay. So, I intend to broadly first give you the comparative analysis of all the few entities which are very common in India. The first one most of us know is that about a sole proprietor. Now, in the sole proprietor form, if you're okay, Anita, we'll share the screen and take you through what is possible.
Yes, that will be wonderful.
So this was, of course, my comparative analysis I'm going to do. Now, yeah, this is where we were starting off. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So in a sole proprietor, as we all know, it's a very simple form of entity. You don't have to do much. You become the owner of a business. There's no formal registration, only a bank account and a PAN number will suffice. In a partnership, as the word says, you obviously have to have more than one person, at least two people minimum. Once you have two people and you decide that what is the profit sharing ratio, what business you want to be in, some brief terms among yourself, you will sign a partnership deal, and in which one thing you have to be careful about is that there is a concept of unlimited liability. To secure yourself in a similar setup, you could also do what they call as a limited liability partnership, which from the year 2008, which is already in the statute book. This registration is made very streamlined because now the Ministry of Corporate Affairs looks after this. Here you ought to have minimum two designated partners. Again, in this case, the deed has to be signed. And this entity, as compared to a company, has a relatively lesser compliance than a company. Companies, of course, you know, are of two types, a private limit and a public limit. This private limit company, as well as public limit company, is a separate legal entity. And it is the Companies Act 2013 is looking after it. Its registration is done by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs website. Director's number, that is DIN number, is compulsory here to obtain. The minimum in this case are directors are 2 and maximum could be 200. And as I said, that minimum 2 directors are required. And the biggest advantage here is that there is a perpetual succession. That means come what may, the company normally lives on and on. It doesn't have an ending, like in the case of a partner or a sole proprietor. The most recent time we have been seeing that there has been a growth of a lot of public limited companies, because whenever you want to do business on a very large scale, it's only the public limited company is being resorted to do the business, and this is managed company, private company, public limited company is managed through a board of directors. And one very good thing is that you can raise very large capital through the public, through the listing on the stock exchange.
Okay, so there are so many options. I'm sure there is different choices that people would make, and there would be a lot more things to consider before they decide which way they would go.
Yeah.
But assuming that they have decided which legal entity to set up, and once the company is set up, what are the issues of compliance that come up? I know that there is a lot of things that are demanded by way of submissions and returns. And you never know when you get on the wrong side of the law. So what can consultants do to stay on the right side of the law?
Okay. So, like I said, in a sole proprietor, you only would have to be expected to file a income tax return and a GST return if you're you fall in the parameters. And other than that, there's nothing much in a sole proprietor. In the partnership, only you have to again file a return. And in case you are a registered partnership, then if something happens like there is a change in the profit sharing ratio, there is a what should I say death of a partner. In all those cases, there will be need to inform the registrar firm, and that's how compliance is all about in a partnership. Now, another form of partnership is called limited liability partnership, wherein you will file form 11C in case of annual return, and you will also file form 8 for the statement of accounts and solvency. In the case of a private limited company, there are things would be differing depending on is there a routine compliance or an event-based compliance. Now, routine compliances are limited to filing form AOC 4 and form MTT 7. And of course, in a private limited company, you have to have the meeting of board of directors and you have to have a AGM. The event-based compliance will depend on a particular event. For example, if the company is planning to raise a capital, then there's a separate set of compliance.
Okay.
Suppose you want to give a loan, then there is a separate set of compliance. So all these compliances are defined by the Companies Act 2015. In public limited company, whatever I said for private limited company will be repeated, except the fact that over and above this kind of a compliance, if the accounts are approved by the board of directors, then that certified true copy of the resolution needs to be filed in what they call this MGT 14. So that in a nutshell, I explained as to what are the compliances to be done by various entities.
Yes. Okay. So that's amazing. One of my, clients was very, who later on landed up becoming a very dear friend also. She asked me, Anita, you're great. I mean, your work is wonderful and you have served a lot of purpose in our organization. But what happens after you? I mean, what is the legacy that you're going to leave behind? And what is the legal aspect of that legacy? So, Mr. Ramani, if you can shed some light on how consultants can take care of the legacy aspect in case of various different kinds of entities.
So I have made a separate slide for you on that also. Now, in case of a will, only making of will in case of a sole proprietor will do. And should in case a person doesn't have a will, then the succession law applicable to that person will apply. Now, whereas in a partnership, then you only have to make it provision in the deed of partnership that what would happen in case of demise of partner. One could say that the son or the wife of the partner would become a partner in that. And in the case of an LLP, the LLP agreement will have to make that kind of a similar provision. In the case of a private limited company, in the death of a shareholder, the legal heir will be expected to take a death certificate along with the will and take it to the private limited company and apply for transmission. Transmission is nothing but the putting on of the shares as owner in your name. Now your legal heir becomes the share. Similar case would happen in a public limited company. So the transmission of the shares, be it a private limited company or a public limited company, the procedure is more or less the same.
Okay. Okay. So that's great. So that gives us a lot of clarity as to what to do to set up. I'm quite sure that the participants of the session have really benefited. And Mr. Sunil Ramani's number is there on the screen right now and his email as well. Anybody wishes to consult him some more is most welcome. And he'll be very happy to entertain your questions if you like. So thank you very much, Mr. Ramani. On behalf of the administration and management of the All India Management Association, and as well as the participants of the Advanced Certificate Program in Business Consulting, I want to say a very heartfelt thank you for sharing your expertise and your time with us.
Thank you, Anita, for calling me and giving
Thank
me
you.
a chance to speak to all.
Thank you so much, sir.